All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for more One Punch Man, and I am getting started on the day the chapter drops, so there's no more of me missing a day. Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin, shall we? Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to One Punch Man. In the last chapter, we essentially had Handsome Cayman, a mime mask, fighting the killer clown creature, the killer clown, and in doing so, after the killer clown was putting people's lives in peril, it forced a mime mask to reveal his true form, which is shown to be hideously ugly and also heavily monsterized. And this has caused people to look at a mime mask a bit differently during this whole revelation, but he also winds up heavily damaging the killer clown. Mind you, he doesn't defeat the killer clown, he just heavily incapacitates it. But of course, all of that doesn't really matter because people are starting to look at Handsome Cayman, at a mime mask, and they're wondering, is this really what he looks like? He looks like a monster. And this is causing people's opinions to slightly change, and just the people who are present to be all like, wait, is that him? So, while Saitama is on his way to try and fight King in another video game, after not winning a single game, Genos, he sees Genos heading in the direction of the amusement park where this fighting is taking place. And after seeing a mime mask on TV, because people are streaming this, people are televising this, people are recording this, after Saitama sees a mime mask on screen, he doubles back and goes like, yeah, I'm gonna go first. And he just jumps over in the direction of the amusement park. So let's see what happens in Punch 215 Rock! And we get a color page here where it's just Saitama and he's just doing what he does best. He's just punching things. But this is a very nice colored page right here. Punch 215 Rock! And we got a helicopter overhead, and it's above the multiple helicopters, and they got multiple cameras as well. And it's everyone looking at Handsome Cayman. What? That's Handsome Cayman? And the screen says, Monster Attack at Narinki Park /subscribe.
He's a freak! A real monster!
No way! Did he monsterize?
No, I bet he was disguising himself as human. I was a huge fan of his.
And now everyone is starting to run away from him. Everyone is starting to run away from my mask because his body has not subdued and it hasn't, gone back to its usual state.
Yikes! He's looking this way! Is he gonna eat us?
Stop pushing, you jerk!
Ow!
Out of the way!
Run!
And then we get someone stepping up behind Handsome Cayman.
A news helicopter. Gawkers all over the world. Video streaming online. A surge of information spreading in images and words. The world's attention is focused on this place right now.
And despite the fact that this clown had its face completely punched in by Handsome Cayman, it completely regenerates, and the clown's face gets even more monstrous. And the clown starts transforming directly in front of him. He starts gaining new arms, and he gains like a giant mouth in his body.
You have boosted me to new heights. New heights of power.
And he's towering over Handsome Cayman. And he immediately rushes a mime mask. Handsome Cayman, a mime mask, same person. He rushes him and punches directly into his body with all of his limbs. And Handsome Cayman tries to brace himself, but then he has all of Handsome Cayman's arms and legs completely bound. He's got all four of his arms are grabbing his arms and legs, and he starts pulling on his body. So you start hearing snap sounds and crack sounds and pop sounds. A monster? Killing a monster?
Aren't any real heroes here yet?
How dare you impersonate the great Amai! Foul abomination!
That clown should rip you to shreds!
And while this is happening, Amai's limbs are starting to actually tear. They're actually starting to tear. You're seeing them tear and bleed. I doubt anyone still views me as a hero. But... And while this is happening, the clown opens up its big chest mouth and just chomps down on Amai. Even so... And despite this, Amai channels some more energy and basically uses all of his strength to launch out of this clown's chest mouth and rip its upper jaw off. And then Amai is up above, right above him, and delivers a two-handed, double-fisted blow directly on this clown's face with so much power, it literally makes the clown implode from the inside and all of its guts come flying. This is this has got to be one of the most goriest, detailed images I have ever seen of One Punch Man, of a monster being hit so hard that its guts go flying out of its body. He literally pancakes the clown, and its entrails, its insides literally splay out in all directions just from this one blow. And while the clown's body is still twitching, Amai Mask stomps on it. And then he just starts going ham and starts stomping on it and punching it. And this causes the people to run away. He's a total monster!
Ah! Where's the exit? Help!
And then we have the attendants at this amusement park going,
calm down, everyone!
Don't push, it's dangerous!
And then we have one person in the crowd going,
if I had a powered suit, I'd clobber this rebel. Take it easy.
Why are we stopped? Move it! And people are pushing into each other.
Mama!
And then someone jumps on top of someone's head and the attendant goes, huh? I'm Blue Fire. What's the situation? And it's a hero. What? That's Amai Mask? He was an imposter! The Heroes Association failed to notice a monster posing as a hero. What a joke!
Do something about this!
Burn him alive!
No, that's really Amai Mask. He risked his life saving passengers on the Ferris wheel. And then Blue Fire just goes, but... And then we get the crowd continuing.
He was just pretending to be heroic. The smoke prevented a clear view. Don't let him fool you.
Ah, my ex-girlfriend was a fan of Amai Mask, so this really ticks me off. Take that!
And some random civilian picks up a rock and throws it at Amai. Idiot! You mustn't provoke him any! No! No, you idiot! You mustn't provoke him any! And while the rock is going sailing towards Amai, it hits a glove. Someone catches it. And it's Saitama. Oh! I knew he was going to come in on such a good moment. But Saitama catches the rock. And he's standing there. And his fist is clenched. And then he has a serious face. And then he turns towards Amai, who's shocked to see that Saitama is smiling, as we end the chapter with Saitama saying, "You are awesome." To be continued. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. Okay. This was a nice chapter. First of all, this clown is a problem. Well, this clown was a problem. I believe Amai Mask has fully destroyed this thing because its whole body has been utterly obliterated and he's pretty much just left it a big old heap of flesh on the ground. But everyone in Japan is seeing Amai Mask and everyone is rethinking their opinion of him. And now they're thinking, oh, he was a monster posing as a human. The Heroes Association didn't know this? A situation like this, and I'm gonna be honest with you, since we've had these chapters, we haven't heard too much from Neo Heroes. A situation like this is probably going to work in the Neo Heroes' favor due to the fact that they're trying to usurp this position of the Heroes Association. So this will probably be more ammunition that McCoy would try to use against the Heroes Association. And all of that prestige, all of the fame and fortune that Amai Mask has gained, we literally saw him living the best life before he started to take Saitama under his wing. We saw that he was living the high life. He had all these designers. It's crazy how we just had chapters describing Amai Mask's life and all these people that he knows that works with him in order for him to look his best, sound his best, dress the best, eat the best, everything that the most richest of the richest people could actually enjoy. And we see this high-end life of Amai Mask, and now we're seeing a situation where he is being brought to his absolute lowest. So who knows if any of those people that we saw introduced when we were going through those series of panels with him trying to train Saitama, if they're gonna stick around because of this. How the turntables. But people are freaking out. The killer clown that grows stronger by attention, which is scary when you think about it. This is a monster that can grow more powerful the more attention it receives. Whether people are talking about it, whether people are streaming the videos online, the more people who are doing it, it literally fuels it to the point where it's capable of evolving and transforming even further, gaining new arms, a whole giant mouth on its stomach like it's Grendel from Warframe. And it was enough to almost rip the limbs off of Amai Mask before it tried to eat him, but Amai basically destroys its entire chest face. And in doing so, it jumps up and it just smashes the clown into a literal bloody pulp. And it doesn't look like it's regenerating from this because its entire body has basically been pancaked. And it's like one of those hydraulic press videos you see here on YouTube. He basically pressed this thing to the point where its insides could no longer stay inside anymore. That has got to be the worst type of body obliteration I have seen in One Punch Man in a very long time. It really has been a while. I feel like the last time we saw something incredibly gory in One Punch Man was when, before the redraws, before we went on break last year, before those chapters were redone, when Empty Void showed up, still monsterized, and it looked like he basically absorbed all of the entrails of all of the ninja from the Tenin, from the Tenin party, and it just sucked all of their insides into him and made him even stronger. That was disgusting. But we haven't seen anything that gory for those chapters after that. And then with the redraws, we still didn't get anything like that. Just like a whole bunch of people just being bodied completely, but nothing on the lines of seeing entire entrails, heavily detailed entrails on a panel. It's been a very long time. It's been a very long time. So this is by far one of the most detailed panels I have seen in quite a while, and I thought it was very well done. Saitama and Amai are the GOATs? Of course they are. Of course they are. Saitama, most of all, he is pretty much the most powerful character on the planet, but he can see the value in people. You know, when those people don't try to talk his ears off with 20 words or more. But with Amai Mask, despite the fact that when he started being a hero, he was considered to be extremely ugly and just like a horrible to look at. And even the fact that his whole public appearance appears to be ruined and being destroyed because of this showcase, he still goes out of his way to save people. So it's kind of funny how he tried to leave an impression on Saitama, but just from one conversation with Saitama, he left an impression on Amai. That's what I find amazing. I find it amazing that just one simple conversation with... Because Saitama is just very straightforward. He doesn't speak in riddles. He doesn't try to be cryptic with his words. He just speaks as plainly as anyone can get in this series. He doesn't try to say things with nuance. He just says things very straightforward. And I feel like it's the straightforward speeches from Saitama that tend to resonate with people the most. Because others are thinking like, oh, you're going to say something all philosophical. It's all like, no, that being a hero, this is what I like to do for fun. Is there some grand design as to why you do this? No, I just like it. But what about what people say about you saying you want to be a hero for fun? Who cares? That's literally Saitama. He doesn't mince words. And it's so crazy how all these people try to instruct Saitama on how to be a hero, and he's literally the epitome of a hero. A hero doesn't look for praise. A hero just does things because it's right. For Saitama, he says it's for fun, but he just does it because, it's in him to do it. He doesn't do it for the fame. He definitely doesn't do it for the fortune. Otherwise, he would have been in a much better looking apartment the last time we saw him, before he got to the Heroes Association. But just one encounter with Saitama and sitting down and talking to him was enough for Amai to be all like, yeah, forget my appearance. I'm just going to save these people. And mind you, he's still trying to cover his face. Because this is his life. His whole life, he's just been seen as this be holier than thou beauty dude. Like just this really, really hot guy who had like a great singing voice. He's a phenomenal actor. Models want to be him. Girls want to be with him. He literally has everything that the world could possibly offer him. And he's willing to throw that all away in this moment just to make sure that he can save people. It also it shows you that this whole time that this dude has been fighting, and we see him just easily dispatch monsters, that's because all of that strength that we seen him use in this fight was contained in that thinner, sleeker form that he's had. His muscles may have been reduced, but it has not reduced his strength. So now I fully understand why he was able to kill all those monsters easily. The monsters from when Boros showed up in his ship and everything was said and done. Saitama used a serious punch, beat Boros, and then all the monsters were being rounded up by the heroes. Amai came in and just killed them all with just one hand, and now I fully understand why he was able to do that, because he is literally that strong. So after all is said and done, the crowd is starting to turn on him, starting to think, oh, he's a monster that tried to pose as a human, because the Monsters Association arc really put into people's heads that if it's a monster, it needs to be killed. It doesn't matter what they were doing before. It doesn't matter their disposition. All monsters need to be killed. And everyone's opinion of Amai Mask is just pretty much changing now, all because of this one moment. Kind of reminds me of that moment in Superman where everyone hears the rest of his message from his parents, and everyone starts to turn on Superman because of the message, but not really paying attention to the fact that Superman hasn't tried to exhibit anything that the end of his message wanted him to do. He's just been saving people, and that's been it. He's just been Superman, helping people, and that's it. Everyone is pretty much overlooking all the good that he's done, all the good that Amai Mask has done, and is like, oh, he's a monster. Forget everything he did. How could I? I can't believe that I believed in you or I liked you before. You foul abomination. But one dude takes up the chance to be like, you made me upset. My ex-girlfriend used to like you, and now that pretty much bothers me. And I'm like, bruh, that's your ex-girlfriend. Why do you care if she like or doesn't like somebody? It's like, my ex-girlfriend was a fan of Amai Mask, so this really ticks me off. My thing is, bro, how are you being bothered by? Why does it bother you if your ex-girlfriend was a fan of Amai Mask? That's so incredibly petty. This is just a person that wants to be upset for no reason. Dude picks up a rock and throws it at Amai. Meanwhile, Blue Fire, one of the heroes that we've seen a while back, Blue Fire shows up and tells him, no, idiot, you mustn't provoke him any. And when the rock gets close, while Amai Mask is under this, I won't say bloodlust, but he's in a bit of a stupor right now, roaring after pretty much dismembering this clown all the way down to just mere puddles of flesh and bone and blood everywhere. Saitama shows up and catches the rock. And then when he turns around Then when he turns around to face Amai, Amai is kind of shaking a little bit because he is very well aware that Saitama is capable of pulverizing any person that gets in front of him with a single punch. And all Saitama does is just give him a genuine smile and say, "You were awesome." And that's the end of the chapter. I knew Saitama was going to do something like this. I knew he was going to be the calm in the midst of the storm. The public is being all irate for just because, ignoring the fact that their lives have been saved because of Amai. All they see is this very big man with a heavily disfigured face and a heavily disfigured body and think, "Monster! We gotta get out of here!" But it's like, there was a monster in front of you guys and Amai mask told you to leave. But y'all wanted to stay behind because y'all are stupid. It is incredible how dumb some of these citizens can be. "Hey, there's a monster here. It's growing stronger. You guys need to get out of here. You guys need to get out of here." "No, we want a selfie. We want to we want to take pictures. We want to record this. Oh, he knocked his glasses off. Let me grab them while he's in the middle of a fight with a monster." These people in this world for One Punch Man, the citizens in this world of One Punch Man are so incredible. There's no sense of self-preservation, at least not to a high degree. But I am really looking forward to the next chapter for One Punch Man, due to the fact that with Saitama here, there's not going to be anyone who's going to be able to stand against Saitama just in case anyone tries to take on My Mask. They're going to have to go through Saitama first, especially after Saitama says, "You were awesome." Okay, you are now protected by Saitama from anything that happens from this point forward. It's literally like Luffy. If you give Luffy food, then he protects your entire country. But here, if Saitama says, like, "You are awesome," and actually smiles genuinely towards you and doesn't look at you with disgust like, "This person talks too much, I don't want to deal with them," you're fine. And anyone who tries to mess you up, they're going to have to get to Saitama, and Saitama's the strongest person in the entire series. So this was a good chapter. I like this one, and I like where it's going to go. I don't know when the next chapter for One Punch Man is going to drop, because it doesn't say it. I don't know if we're going to go back to like maybe 1 or 2 chapters a month, because November starts this week on Saturday, and I'll just have to keep an eye out to see if the next chapter is going to be dropping next Wednesday as well. We'll see. But that's all I got, ladies and gentlemen. This was a fun chapter of One Punch Man, and I'm looking forward to the next one, especially the fallout after the souped-up, attention-grabbing killer clown is now dead. I honestly thought Saitama was going to come in and completely obliterate the clown with one punch, but no, it was My Mask who brought it down. So that's very interesting. But let's look forward to the next chapter and see what Saitama's going to do amidst a crowd of people who just see Amai and want to shun him already without even thinking. We'll see. But that's all I got. Hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Even consider checking out my Patreon, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. And because I know you're coming back anyway. Have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!